the Tilton. We'll support you till the end of the day. We're so happy following the Blues. We love you, what more can we say? Let's see you in the cup, singing our song, helping and sharing the load. It's worth the point at home when we sing together. We're there at the end of the road. We are the lads from the Tilton.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Tilton Talk Show. It is Monday, 7:30. Here we are right through till 9 o'clock tonight. That's a full 90 minutes of the Tilton Talk Show, and it is so good to be back in the studio, and it is so good to have 3/4 of a voice. 3/4. I only had a half last week, but now I've got 3/4. We start the show with a little bit of sadness tonight, ladies and gents. Obviously, I'm sure you've all heard in and around the news feeds today that Birmingham City Football Club, and this has been written by BCFC.com, so I credit them, not me. Birmingham City Football Club is deeply saddened at the passing of Bertie Auld, a legend of British football with success both in England and north of the border. Auld played a role in one of the football club's most glorious eras. Glasgow born, he would represent Celtic in 2 spells, either side of more than 100 appearances for Blues, joining from the Parkhead Club in 1961 for the sum of £15,000. The midfielder featured in that year's Intercity Fairs Cup final against Italian giants Roma. He was subsequently part of the Blues squad that beat Aston Villa over 2 legs in the 1963 League Cup final. Back in his homeland, he helped Celtic win the 1967 European Cup, adding into his career the record that includes 3 international caps, 5 league titles in Scotland. Following a distinguished playing career, Auld led both Partick Thistle and Hibernian to the Scottish First Division title, and in 2009 was inducted into the Scottish Football Hall of Fame. The thoughts with everybody at Birmingham City are with Bertie's family and friends. Rest in peace. Credit BCFC.com. And from everybody here at the Tilton Talk Show and everybody connected with Birmingham City, I'm sure we sent him out those words. And a very sad day. And that great big grin will be sadly missed. Rest in peace, Bertie Auld. Never nice to do those things, but we do them at the beginning of the show because that shows our level of respect that we've got for, players, fans, anybody connected to our football club who sadly passes away. Okay, Remembrance Weekend it has been, and a difficult one, as you all know, in our house. It went, everything went off well, kind of. And something like that is run by, ex-military and the British Legion. Get the times right, guys. Get the times right. Don't do everything 2 minutes early, please. Rest my case. We have a legend with us here tonight, ladies and gents, in the Tilton Talk Show, and it's so refreshing to be back in the studio with microphones and not have to Zoom and one thing or another, and interaction with human beings. And Mark, you've got that many wrinkles, mate, since I last saw you, and your hair's gone grey and your eyebrows have fell out and all sorts, mate.
What? I don't wear my dressing gown. This is what happens.
But the legends that we have in the studio tonight is the one and only Mr. Mark Adams. Thank you ever so much for coming tonight, mate.
Thank you.
And of course, the one and only Mrs. Browne.
Good evening.
But the real legend I'm talking about, ladies and gents, girls and boys, I remember him from my Birmingham City career as a fan from my childhood. It is the one and only Gary Pendrey. Welcome to the show, Gary.
Good evening. Thank you very much for your lovely welcome.
Absolute pleasure. Wow, that you did a lot of appearances for the Blues. It's over 300, wasn't it? 312?
I think I've got a plaque that says I made 360 appearances in all competitions.
Yeah.
I think
it was 312 for the league.
Yeah.
That, in today's standards, is incredible. It is incredible for one football club. Wow. Now, do you remember a gentleman called Tony Want?
I do remember Tony very well. Yeah.
Tony Want had his leg broken at Newcastle.
That's right. Somebody called, was it Smith?
I think so. Yeah. And then we played Newcastle the following week at St Andrews. Did you play in that game?
I think I did. Yeah.
That was my very first game ever.
Was it?
Wow. And I've met you now, and I've also met Joe Gallagher, who also played in that game.
Yeah.
And that's why I really wanted to come over tonight, because that day that my daddy held my hand and took me up the Coventry Road, bless him, rest in peace, Father, and took me to my very first Birmingham City game. You, sir, were on the field.
That does make me feel very old.
You're very old. No doubt about it. I mean, I was expecting the black moustache and the wig and everything, to be honest. But no, to me, players of that era, for me, because like my 2 paper rounds that I did to get my ticket to go to the Blues, and that's the only method that I got to go. Paying for myself. Not so much when I was like 13 when that game first happened, but like as soon as I got to 15, it was only you could buy your own tickets, right? And I remember my dad going mental because it went up to 10 bob to get in.
Yeah.
10 bob to get in, 50p. Wow. 50p for you younger generations, you don't know what 10 bob is. Yeah. 50p. And but to have you sitting here.
Well,
on that first game where my dad took me to my first game, and my dad made me fall in love that day, and I've never been out since. Not ever.
I think it's fair to say, Gary, you're quite iconic. That penguin kit. I mean, obviously it's before I was born in '76, but like I say, you, Trev Francis, Latchford, Atton, it's all just, regardless of how old you are, it's just such an iconic sort of period, isn't it?
I think the '70s was a great era to play in, but also, you hadn't got the amount of television. Players weren't publicised like they are today.
No, Hugh Johns on a Sunday afternoon.
Huge ones, yeah.
Hugh Johns.
Yeah, he'd be the one, yeah.
Is that what you used to call it?
Huge ones, yeah. You'd have that. You'd wait on a Sunday afternoon and see that.
Oh,
but you would just get the television, or even the match of the day on the Saturday night. You'd probably get Tottenham or Liverpool, maybe Arsenal. That you wouldn't get Birmingham City. You only got Birmingham City when we got in the then First Division and played Tottenham or Liverpool. And I remember once we did play Liverpool and we were beaten 4-3, and we shouldn't have been beaten 4-3 because we put the ball in the box. I think it was me that put the ball in the box actually, and Clements dropped it. A big lad called Staunton, the centre half, dropped the ball and Bob Hatton put it in the net. Boom, 4-3 to us. He disallowed it. He disallowed it and said that Bob had fouled him. It wasn't Bob at all. They put the ball down, knocked it long. I think it was Toshak flicked it on, or Keegan flicked it on, and the other one put it in the net, and they won 4-3.
Wasn't Clive Thomas by any chance, was it?
Oh, don't talk to me about Clive Thomas.
I will do.
I know what he will do. I know that's coming. But they said on the night, I watched the BBC match of the day, and Bobby Charlton was on match of the day, and he said, "What a disgraceful decision."
Yeah. Funnily enough, that one was on. The big match revisited on a Saturday morning. That one was on a few weeks ago. I was watching that.
And they did you see the disallowed goal? It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. Staunton it was. He bumped into Clements. It wasn't Bob Hatton had nothing to do with it. He put an empty net. That was an
Chris, a small request. Could you put me live comments up, please?
Oh, crikey, sorry. It's been that long, I've forgotten.
See, what people do, they're not only seeing this tonight, but they can also write in and ask you questions and, bring back memories and one thing and another.
Sure.
And so that's it. He's doing it now. He's only got one job, Mark.
I know.
One job, that's all.
You know what?
He's getting on.
I've forgotten how to do it. I'll get it.
That's all right, don't worry. We'll leave you to it. Right, I'd like to say a big thank you to Mrs. Browne for my mug.
Yes. No problem.
And Mark, you got one as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Look at that. Brilliant. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Tatey scoring that iconic goal down at Wembley against Carlisle. I was literally right in front of him when he did that, and I think his arms were out to me at the time.
There you go.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
Nice memento.
Wouldn't surprise me.
So
and
I've got the Leyland Daft one. My first visit to Wembley with my dad, I was 15. And there you go. Big John Gale. Lovely.
What a day.
What a day.
Yeah. What an absolute.
Did you go?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't.
you missed a cracker.
No, I didn't.
Do you know the score,
Garry? You missed an absolute stunner. Proper stunning game that was. And as Birmingham City fans, we haven't had a lot to shout about over the years, but what we have been able to shout about, we've enjoyed every single minute. And we played Fulham the other year and managed to stay up. We celebrate that like Man United celebrate, the Champions League. But describe You go regularly now to Blues, as we know. We've already a good half hour's worth of stories actually before we kicked off.
Yeah.
You're still a regular down the Blues. Kids are season ticket holders, grandchildren season ticket holders.
Yeah.
Describe, if you can, the difference in the atmosphere today to when I first started going back in the 70s.
At this moment in time, it would be unbelievable because we've only got 15,000 people in the ground. And it's a very sad sight to see the far side not full and the ground not full. But in an era when you first started going, which was probably the 70s,
Early 70s, 73.
I think I was, as we were talking before, I think I was very fortunate to play in that era. We had big crowds, 30, 40,000 crowds.
Standing.
We had terrific players, Francis, Latchford, Hatton, afterwards Burns. We had Kendall that came along.
Latchford in goal as well.
Great players, but fantastic crowd, great atmosphere. Great atmosphere. Used to go with the atmosphere. You talk about the Tilton. I can remember once, on a Christmas time, I had a present from the Tilton, and it arrived in a box. It was very nicely made up. I opened it up. It was an axe. It was an axe.
You have started him off now.
Only at Birmingham City, eh?
It was.
So
it was great.
how did they deliver that to you? Throw it over the fence or something?
No, it was delivered to the ground.
It was delivered to the ground?
Yeah, it was delivered to
there
the
was
ground.
a real axe
From the
inside
Tilton.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they
yeah.
called it to reception and said, "Oh, Garry, there's a
Just left it there. It was an axe.
Can you imagine that nowadays?
But it's just how it was. I think I think I was a bit enthusiastic at the times with some of the tackles and whatnot.
With your kung fu nickname.
I know, but I always thought I was a bit of a ball player.
How did you get on with that nickname? Did you like it or?
I didn't mind it really. I didn't mind it at all. You know, it sometimes can precede you with certain things. I remember Stan Bowles one night. We were playing. We talk about crowds. We were playing QPR, and I think we were 3 up perhaps. It was a drizzly night. It was about 30,000 in there. I think Trevor scored one of his usual 35 yards free kicks or something like that. So they wanted to make a substitution, and Stan had been playing through the middle. And they shouted from the side, they shouted, Stan, we're bringing, I can't remember who they brought on, they're bringing him on. You come wide on the right. Stan went, no, not for me. There's a lunatic out there. I'm not going out. He wouldn't come out. And we had a laugh after. I said, Stan, what are you coming? No, you're having a laugh. He said. I don't think so. I was quite surprised.
But football was a different game back then to what it is now. You never got the rolling around, 23 times and holding the shins every time you get touched or blown upon. It was blood, thunder, guts, determination, and a real show of force.
I think the last thing you wanted to do was, when you went into a tackle, the last thing you wanted was you didn't want to end up on the floor and be hurt. And even if you were, you didn't want the physio to come on. No way. If you couldn't get up, you were really hurt. And that was across the board.
Magic sponge scenario.
That was across the board. Oh, magic sponge. I'll give you a quick story about a magic sponge. Can I give you a quick story?
Yeah.
It was actually after I'd left Birmingham. I was assisting Alan Buckley at Walsall, but it just shows you the sort of things that went on then. I had to be the physio on the touchline with a bag, and all it had in the bag was a sponge and a cold spray. And Ronnie Green, the goalkeeper at Walsall at the time, he was at Birmingham for a while. He went down injured, and I had to run on. With this bag. And I got there and I undone Ron's tie up and rolled down his... And there was his bone staring at me. I've got a bag with a sponge and there's this... What do you do? What do you do?
What did you do?
I just stood up and I was waving help to the side to get a doctor or something like that. And Ronnie will tell you to this day, it's white. That bone there is white when you see it, when it's cut up there.
Yeah.
And that's... that's how things have changed now in the game.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it is a shame because, again, us older generation saw it, witnessed it, and we can remember it. And we're a dying breed as older people now, and once we've gone on the face of the earth, thankfully there'll be shows like this that in the future people will be able to access and say, oh, blimey, was it really like that? Yeah, and it really was like that. I've got to wish you a happy belated Emerald wedding anniversary from the 5th of November. Somebody put that one on a little while ago. I don't have a mouse to control anything, Chris, is that?
It's all right. You tell me what you want.
Okay, a mouse.
Okay. No.
Nicholas Wellsbury, one of our deaf fans. Hi, everybody at Keep Blues, keep right on. Hello, Nicholas Wellsbury and the deaf community, keep right on. Rest in peace, Bertie. My condolences to his friends and family from Stephen Gill. Sorry, right, okay. Everybody says I'm looking at you, Chris, when I'm looking at you. But I'm not, I'm looking at you, aren't I? I'm not looking at you.
You know what I mean?
Martin Swinscoe remembers that Newcastle game. Blues kicked lumps out of Newcastle that day. Payback for breaking Tony Want's leg. That atmosphere at that game was more than electric.
Yeah.
It was like somebody had put an extra 50 in that metre, I tell you. It frightened the life out of me, to be fair. And that's the very first time I met Scarf Lady as well, by the way.
Oh, was it?
Oh, was it the first time?
Yes, the very first time on my very first gay. She was walking up the steps in the cop, and I said to him, what the dickens is that? He says, oh, that's Scarf Lady. Yeah. God bless her. Hey?
God bless her. She's still with us.
How's she doing today? Quickly,
as far as I know, she's still with us. Yeah. She's still with us. That's what I'm going to say. Really, there was so much about her probably almost dying that
she's as iconic as the Tilton and the cop, isn't she? Do you know her?
I don't know her personally.
Great.
I know.
With scarves. We interviewed her here one day. We'll play a belch in a minute that she recorded for us. Steve Job, welcome to Garry. Can I ask, did we scout Carl Richards? Sorry.
I knew somebody would bring that up somewhere.
There's a message from Carl. The message from Carl Richards.
Actually, I was going to mention it, but it's somebody else. I've got to give them the credit.
To be fair, how can you be fair when you bought Carl Richards? He absolutely destroyed us once when we played against him at Bournemouth. And Harry sold him to me. And then later on, Harry comes on telling me all stories about him. Do you know what I mean? He said, you know what, Gal? He said, he come into my office one day. He said, Gaffer, what's this with my wages? He said, what do you mean, Carl? He said, it's got tax on here. He said, well, that's what you have to pay, Carl. I said, I've never paid tax. He's telling me all sorts of things about him afterwards.
Oh, dear, brilliant.
He was a bit of a monster to start with, but he ended up he terrified me and the rest of the crowd, I think.
Right, okay. Hi to Leonard Edgington, all the way from Queensland, Australia. He gets up at about 3 o'clock in the morning to listen to the show. So hi to Leonard and everybody over there in Australia who listen to the show as well. And Linda Magna. Now, Linda, we were chatting about this just before the show kicked off tonight. Linda wants to know, Garry, what was your days like as an apprentice?
Days, they were very long. When I was an apprentice, I'd catch 2 buses to get to St Andrews. And when I got the bus to St Andrews, we used to get into a minivan, was it the long white vans they had? And they'd drive us up to Elmdon. Then we'd have to do all the kit and whatnots. And then we'd do a bit of training. And then they'd have to clear all the kit up afterwards, tidy up, sweep up, wash up, everything, put it all back in the van, travel back to St Andrews, and if it was in the early parts of the season, we'd have to do the pitch. We'd sometimes weed the pitch in little square areas.
Listen to this, ladies and gents, listen to this.
We'd paint the barriers. We'd paint little white lines on the steps sometimes. And then eventually we might get home we might leave about 5 o'clock, 5:30, something like that.
It's a long day.
But it was a long day, because you get on the bus then and get home. It'd be tiring when you've been when you're doing plenty of running. Because the thing is, when you first went there as an apprentice, when I went in '64, they give you a pair of trainers, a pair of boots, and a pair of spikes for doing your sprinting and all that. So Ray Devy gave me a pair of boots the first day I was there, and there was people might remember him, Aldecoa. He was a Spanish coach. He was a good coach, But he gave me these boots, Ray Devey. And it's 64, and boots are starting to change, I remember. These had big brown toenails, you know, the big ones at the end. I looked at him when he gave them to me, and I thought, you can't do anything, can you? 15-year-old kid, first day. I put them on. So I went out training. Start training, I thought. So this circle, and Al used to call it rondo. You see them doing it nowadays, where they have two in the middle and they keep. He called it rondo. He did, Al. So I got in the middle, and all of a sudden I went, oh my God, stop this game now. And he used to call me Gas, get off my pitch with those boots and never come back. Wow. On my life, I didn't know what to do even. Off, get off. I said, well, Mr. Devi, take them to Devi and give them to me. Oh, I didn't know what to do. So he'd obviously tried to plant them on me, Ray Devi, last of the brown boots.
Yeah. Mick James says Garry played in the first ever game I watched at St Andrews, February 1978 against Middlesbrough. See, you've made memories. Ask Garry, who was your footballing hero from Stephen Gill?
My footballing hero? I used to love Norman Hunter, even though he was probably in my era. I thought Norman was terrific. And actually got to know him later on in life, and he was a terrific guy as well. But he was left-footed like me. We even had... my wife and I, we even had a black cat when we first got married, and I called him Hunter.
My cat's called Bo.
Is he black?
Bo, B-E-A-U.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, after Bo Brummie.
Bo Brummie, yeah.
And when my son was young, he had a rabbit called Delia de Boulder.
Speaking of your wife, happy anniversary, Garry.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It was a bonfire night.
Yeah, 1966, unforgettable.
Too many puns.
Come on, waiting for the joke. Come on, Nick. You missed it. Come on.
It's my first day back.
Right. I'm disappointed.
Right, so who would have been your footballing hero then?
Norman Hunter.
Norman Hunter. Brilliant player.
Yeah.
What about when you were...
That Leeds team was just phenomenal, weren't they?
Leeds team were phenomenal, and we played them, remember?
Yeah.
We played them when they had all the names in there. Hunter, Madeley, Giles, Bremner, Clark, Jones. Oh,
Lorimer, of course.
terrific. Lorimer.
92 mile an hour shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was offside. He was definitely offside in the 72s. He was definitely offside. I tell you, if they had VAR nowadays, he was offside.
He was offside.
Yeah. I think they'd have still beat us.
Right, Janie Tarbuck's got a question for you now. Can you say after? Is it true, Garry, that you got to get another job while it was close season to earn extra money because you didn't get paid while there were no matches on?
No, we did get paid. Well, I know what she's on about. When I was apprentice, so we're talking about 64. You see, 64. Those days there'd be probably a 10-week break between the. You know, it's a long time. We wouldn't have all of that. We'd probably have about 6 or 7 weeks. But obviously we didn't earn a lot of money then, and we used to do jobs. The first job I did, I worked for a fella called Peter Dryhurst, and that was a scrap metal. It was in a scrap metal trade, shoveling swarf and that in Adderley Road. He had a big yard, and I did that through the summer. And I never wanted to do that again.
Yeah,
and then the next summer, I worked in just down from Maxdog Street. There was an underseal. They used to underseal cars. You lot are younger. They used to spray the underseal. I used to mask them up. I used to stand there and pull all the masking round to stop the underseal going up any further. I did that in the summer there. For that summer, I didn't want to do that again.
No.
And then the last summer we had, you've had Phil Summerlin in here before, and Phil and myself, we worked for Chardin Glass.
Oh, right.
And, I actually fitted some louver windows in somebody's house somewhere. I don't know. I don't know how long they stayed in for, but I didn't want to do that again either.
What a shame that you don't know whose house it was. It could have got by a pound.
If anyone knows,
Are
they still there?
Yeah, they are. They're still there. They've done some work for me once.
Could have gone up at
I think
least
it was a
pound
Louvre
for
window.
shares. Right, okay, Martin Swinscoe, please ask Garry what the feeling was like when we lost that semi-final in 75. I was there that night and it still hurts, 46 years on. Has Garry still got that painful feeling of what if?
Yeah.
Every time you see a semi-final of any sorts, it's the same thing. My brothers, my brother Ken and my brother-in-law Graham, they used to follow us everywhere at the time, and they drove home from Manchester that night and never spoke a word to each other. Never spoke a word to each other.
Horrible.
I mean, it was just so close. We've been, in all honesty, we were poor on the Saturday. We were poor. We were fortunate to get the replay, but at Main Road, I mean, there was only one team going to win, and it should have been us, but it wasn't us. But I'm afraid that is that is as bad as it gets, I think.
I listened to the game outside my house in Hampton Street in Warwick on the radio, and I believe Tony Butler was on the radio at that time. And my dad went to the match. I didn't, but even that disappointment as a child, you know, what was I, 9 years old? Even that disappointment as a 9-year-old child. And that's been passed down through my kids, because I did promise Luke that if we got to Wembley, I can't remember what occasion it was, but we didn't. We got beat, and I had to ring him up and say, and I can still hear him to this day, kicking and screaming in the bed, that he was sobbing his heart out. And you know what? As a blues fan, you've got to take the rough with the smooth. You've got to build these memories. Some are going to be good, some are going to be bad. As the song says, it's a long, long road. There'll be joys and sorrows too. Kevin Skidmore, looking well, Gary. One of my blues heroes, tremendous clubman in his day, always gave his all. Lovely comment, thank you very much. And anyone born in 1960, Steve Portman, what's all this about? Anybody born in 1961 celebrating a big birthday before the year ends?
Just saw that.
Well, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before.
No.
But I will be 60 this Christmas Day. I'm having a little bit of a bash at home. You're invited. You can come as well if you want. You're very welcome. I could have had it on the pitch at St Andrews and invited everybody, couldn't I, really? It would have been an amazing and tremendous occasion, an auspicious occasion, and one to savour, to be perfectly honest with you. Sharon said to me the other night, I said, I'm after a number plate, right? K888, KRO, right? 888 because it was our sponsors, right? Sorry, Boy Sports. But it's the closest I could get, you know what I mean? And she goes, we've already wrapped loads of Christmas presents up. She says, all yours into there. I says, well, I can't see anything that might resemble a drone, an iPad or a number plate. All the wrong size, mate. Do Blues look after former players and managers properly? Surely you never had to buy a ticket or a pint, says Jason Hughes.
This could be interesting.
In what way is that question? When you say, do they look after them? They've got a good players' association, former players' association. It's terrific.
Tom Ross has done a lot of that.
Tom's a very, very good friend of mine. And they do really well. Malcolm does a great job with that now as well. And what a great lad he is, by the way.
We've never had Malcolm.
We haven't had Malcolm, have we?
No.
No. We must get Malcolm.
We must get Malcolm.
You still in touch with Malcolm?
Yeah.
Get his people to talk to our people.
He's got people. He's got Mary, I think. No, there's Mary and Malcolm. That's about his people. That's about as far as it goes.
We've got Craig.
Mr. Courtney.
He's a great lad, Mal, and I know he does a terrific job for the former, and they do a great job. They really do. They really do. Whether the club do a great job is another.
Dan Jones subtly changing the subject there, ladies and gents. Nice to see Mark Adams dressed and not in his dressing gown. You slovenly git you.
I've come from work.
Last time you bought it with you, didn't you?
No, I didn't actually.
Didn't you not?
It was in my bag, but I didn't put it on.
Oh, disappointing.
Right, scroll me some more, Chrissy Brown. Scroll me some more.
Okay.
Yeah, right, England just about to kick off, so good luck to them. San Marino tonight.
It's 1-0 actually.
Is it already 1-0?
Yeah, it's already 1-0.
Who's got it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Don't really care.
Okay.
Who too?
Right. Happy 90th birthday to my granddad today, Reginald Willock. Very happy birthday to you, 90 years old, from Trevor John Smith and the full team here at the Tilton Talk Show, and of course Gary Pendrey. In my opinion, Freddie Goodwin was the best ever blues manager. Who was the best manager you played under, from Peter Mangan?
I think at Blues it would be Freddie. I think Freddie was quite innovative with certain things he did. And he was also a great travel agent. We travelled all around the world with Freddie.
Yeah.
Oh dear. But I think at the end of one season we went to Australia, New Zealand and Tahiti for 3 weeks.
Wow.
Played the Australian national team and other teams. But he loved it. He loved the trip, Fred.
Yeah.
I mean, even before, in the promotion year, 71, 72, in the August time, we went to just outside New York, university just outside New York for two weeks. When the New York Jets were training there as well. They had their camp, and there was a famous guy called Joe Namath. He was a famous quarterback, and he was there. And Freddie loved the trip.
Did you get to sort of chat to them about their football and vice versa? Were they interested, or was
not really? Because we used to go down for breakfast, and you'd stand alongside these guys, and you were just so intimidated. It was unbelievable. Never mind about you seeing with the pads on. Without the pads, they were huge. They were just monsters. Yeah. We never got into any sort of
no conversation.
Well, we definitely didn't get any fights with them now, because it was a waste. It would have been a waste of time, really. I think. Roger might have fought him. Roger might have fought him. Yeah.
You're not the team of the 90s then. All right, a bit more scrolling. Harry Maguire scored the goal, guys, by the way. Harry Maguire.
It's 2-0 now, apparently.
2-0.
2-0
Oh,
now.
I can't keep up with this, Chris.
Every time you look at the screen.
Deflection.
And Mr. Fixer, just to let you know, is already on the case about Malcolm Page.
Yeah,
okay, so he's already working on that one now. Thanks
I
ever
saw
so
that
much.
flash up, yeah. That's brilliant.
Nicholas Wellesby said Pedersen and Colin injured, both missing games away at Hull.
Happy birthday to Maxim Collins. I think he's 30 today, isn't he?
Is he?
okay.
Good player.
Okay.
Yes.
Janie Tarbix said that's my dad's company. I'm presuming she means Sharding Glass.
Ah.
You haven't had any louver windows sent back, have you, Janie?
They're in a bathroom.
Whereas our mum used to say Louvre.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep scrolling, brother. Keep scrolling. Right, let's have a look at some of these. Worked with Dennis Thwaites for years at Rover, Lode Lane. He used to talk about things during his time at St Andrews. He spoke very highly about Garry. We worked on the Range Rover vehicle as a blues fan. It was great because we also were working with Reg Latchford, Bob and Dave Latchford's father. Dennis left Birmingham and went to live in Blackpool, I believe. Colin Withers was also living in Blackpool at the time. How shocked I was when Dennis lost his life while on holiday in Tunisia.
I remember
Dennis
that, yeah.
was a lovely man. Everybody liked him. Rob Beale. Nice words, mate. Nice words. Well done.
That was awful, wasn't it?
Okay.
Sorry.
Alrighty. So. 6 week. Sorry, you've got a 6 week international break in November. What's that going to do to players? You know, your fitness levels, your concentration, your mind, and then all of a sudden, boom, nothing for 6 weeks.
I don't know what it's going to do. I really don't, because I find it so strange. It'll be fantastic for us because we'll have something else to watch, but in the season,
weird, isn't it?
I can't get my head around that quite. I just can't get my head around it.
We've got Mr. Tony Coton has just answered. He says, "Shall I answer that?" I'm not sure what that's to.
Michael Wood said Slabhead scored.
Quiet.
Oh no! Don't stop me!
So I've got my fader on your mic here. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not quite 100%, ladies and gents, but there you go. Right, get Tom Ross on the show. Our Tom's been on, quite a few times.
He's
Great friend of the show.
three times now. So
lovely man.
Brilliant.
Like Tom Lage, yeah.
Brilliant. 2-0.
Right, John Donohoe. When Garry was at Celtic coaching, he must have known Bertie Auld, who was still around as a fan. I saw Bertie lay Maurice Cook and Johnny Haynes out at Fulham. And around the same time against Liverpool, he jumped up at Ron Yates, who Shankly called a colossus. And when he was sent off, he put a towel over his face. He was in bits. Garry, a legend too, great talker too, and a real blues fan. Keep right on, lads. Love the show. Thank you so very much, Joe. It means absolutely everything to us that you people listen week in, week out.
He's right about Bertie. As I say, I first went there when I was 15. I knew Bertie then. And when I went to Celtic with Strack, he couldn't wait to see me, Bertie, because he wanted to say, "You clean my boots." First thing he said to me, everybody calls him Wee 1030 up there. He said, "You clean my boots, you remember, don't you?" I did remember, and he was a character. Fantastic guy, Bertie.
I'll just go get Alan on the phone, Nick.
Yeah, Alan Watton's going to join us in a few minutes from down south, and it'd be nice to talk to him again.
Do you remember that incident with Ron Yates? Did you ever see it? Or did you,
No, I don't remember that one.
No.
I don't remember that one.
How long did you have a spell as manager of the Blues?
2 years, just under 2 years.
Right. And who was that in between?
It actually seemed like about 202 years.
They were difficult times, weren't they?
That is probably the biggest understatement you'll make for the whole of your life. No, I think I'd like to clear that up while this thing's on here. Whatever went on and whatever happened at Birmingham City, I wasn't good enough anyway. It wasn't for me managing.
You gave it a shot.
I desperately wanted to be the manager. How could I turn it down?
Yeah, of course you can't.
When Weldon rang me, I'd been at Wolves with Graham Turner, we'd just been offered new contracts. And Graham said, we're going to do this because we'd done okay at Wolves. And the phone rang and I just knew the voice because he just said, do you want the job, my lad? And I said to him, can a duck swim? And that was it. He said, I'll see you at past
So
5.
who made that phone call
Weldon.
to you? Weldon.
Ken Weldon.
Yeah, Ken.
And there's no way I could have turned it down. And ultimately, even though certain things went on there, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't a manager. I wasn't cut out to be a manager. I thought I was. I wanted the chance, but it wasn't for me. Assistant manager or coaching was for me, and I worked at that for 40 years afterwards.
Excellent. You know what? It takes a proper big man with big shoulders to say, you know, it
put your
weren't
hand
for
on your
me.
heart and say that, yeah.
You got bang on, mate. You know, I tell you what, I think you just earned so much more respect. Goosebump alert. There you go.
Because Chris ain't put the heating on again.
You got no chance in here.
No way.
We ain't had heating in here for 11 years, mate.
It's not winter
11
yet.
years.
It's not winter.
And Dennis did bring a heater in
Yes.
once, right?
Yeah.
And this heater I was doing a painting job. And I wanted a little heater, and I said, "Oh, well." Dennis said, "I'll get you one." I said, "Well, I'll borrow that one then, and you give Chris another one." And it's never turned up.
Nah.
Never turned up.
That's
That was 5 years ago.
That's Dennis.
Good 5 years ago. Dennis, sorted him out. Sorted out. Crikey. Oh, life.
I think on the line we have Alan Watton. Are you there, Alan?
Hello there, yes, I'm here.
Oh, that's clear.
Greetings, Alan.
Hello, Alan.
You're through to Gary Pendrey.
How you doing?
Hi, guys.
Hi, Al.
Lots of memories of you. I just wanted to check one thing. Did you play in the final of the youth cup? Were you in that side?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
1-0
So
to Sunderland. We lost 1-0 to Sunderland.
that's right. I saw that game.
Yeah.
I saw the semi-final as well. So, yeah. These youngsters, they don't know nothing.
Mark.
You don't know
but
nothing,
I'll do that.
Nick, you don't know nothing.
The other thing that I really remember, we played Cardiff on Boxing. The year we went up, we played Cardiff on Boxing Day,
Did I
and you
score?
played in midfield. Yes, you scored an absolute blinder.
I put it, yeah, in the at the railway end, put in the top corner.
That's right. Yeah.
I remember that. Listen, I have 5 goals for Blues, 1 for Walsall. I can talk you through every one.
Minute by minute.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, I did play quite a few games in midfield actually. Freddie wanted me
Yes,
to
you
do
did.
that.
Yeah. Tough tackling. A bit of a Peter Storer in that position. Yeah.
Toy Story, I would have thought. That would have been more like it.
Yeah.
But he used to, I think I've said this before, Freddie went through a period when we got back in, well, when we got into the First Division, he wanted to consolidate as much, and there were a lot of good midfield players around then, you know, Alan Ball, Colin Viljohn, Trevor Brooking, all this sort of people. And when I played in midfield, it was just my job. It was like a man marking job. It was, that's it, guys. You got to see him out, and that was us, you know.
Yeah.
Simple but effective.
Yeah. Are you still in touch with the players of that time? I mean, Alan Campbell's an old mate of mine.
Kazi. Alan,
Pardon?
yeah. Kazi. He's funny enough. We used to call him Kazi Campbell, and we were at a function about a year ago. He came up to me and he said, "Can you remember why they called me Kazi?" And do you think the life of me, I can't. I can't. But it's,
I never heard him called that.
By the way, he'd be, if I had to pick a team, a Blues team that I'd played with or whatever, he'd be in there, Alan.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Terrific player, Alan, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Just stay on the line, Alan, and just butt in whenever you want to. Okay.
Okay.
Nice to talk to you again, Alan. Nice one. Thanks ever so much for joining us tonight, mate.
Yeah, nice to see that. Where's Paul?
Paul's decided he wants to watch the England game.
Okay. Part-timer.
I know, yeah. I don't know if we ever did we do that comment at the top there.
Right, Garry. I remember as a manager, I thought times down the Blues, through tough times down the Blues. Did you ever regret taking that job?
What a good question.
No, I don't, as I said, I didn't. Never. No. How could I regret it? It's I always call it my club. It's our club. It's my club. From a boy, I went there as a boy. I left as more than a man, I think. I went there as a boy.
And was that to watch or to play?
To play.
Right.
And they gave me everything. You know, it's. I went through life, and we spoke earlier. The club lent me a certain amount, and let me some money to buy my first house. You know, and all these sort of things, and I just couldn't turn the opportunity down when I had the chance to manage, even though it turned out like it did.
Yeah.
I mean, we've moved on from that, mate.
I thought we had, yeah.
No, we actually have. But it's part of our history, it's part of the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've been dead honest and open, and it doesn't matter because you're Gary Pendrey, you know what I mean? Hey!
Yeah.
Happy days. Right, got to mention that there is a Barry Fry and Mark Ward night on the Friday the 3rd of December. General tickets £20, VIP tickets are £30 each, and that's at St Anne's Social Club, 96 Bradford Street, Digbeth, B12 OPB. That's a Barry Fry and Mark Ward night on Friday, the 3rd of December. General tickets £20, VIPs £30. St Anne's Social Club, 96 Bradford Street, Digbeth. If you want to get along to there, I suppose you contact them about tickets, really. Okay.
So if anybody hasn't had the chance to listen to Barry, he'll have a great night. He was hilarious, wasn't he?
No.
Well, I met him for the first time in Birmingham a couple of 3 months ago, and oh god, he was so funny. And then when he come on the show, you know, he'd got different stories, and there was just so much to that man's career.
He's
He's brilliant. You know, he's absolutely brilliant.
Have you had many doings with him?
Not really.
What, he didn't try and sign you?
Not really, no.
Trying to sign me?
Yeah.
I've never played.
Got to say congratulations on little Jack. Hashtag Jack's got friends for getting your award last week, Sunshine. Well done. You keep up that good work, buddy. You're turning out to be an absolutely brilliant young man. Keep it up, mate. Keep it up. Okay, so Jude's playing tonight. Congratulations and good luck to him. And Dean Smith is now the manager of Norwich. Wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't it be? No, but listen to this, Chris. Listen to this. Wouldn't it be lovely on the last day of the season?
I know what you're going to say.
Norwich had to win, and they're drawing 1-1, and there's 3 minutes of overtime, and in the 7th minute of overtime, they put the ball in the net by handball, and VAR allows it to go in, because that is the only way that football club is in the Premier League right now, was by a bad VAR decision. And allegedly some people at the top of Sky Sports who are their supporters. 97 minutes, ladies and gents. Just think of that on the last day of the season.
Brilliant.
Think of the copious amounts of beer I will swallow on that night. Martin Wentworth wants to know, who was the hardest opponent you played with and against?
I had this question before, and I was trying to think about it. There's some, as I say, Norman was a hard boy. Norman Hunter was a hard boy. With Ray Martin could tackle. Ray Martin was Ray Martin could put his foot in.
I remember Ray Martin. Yeah.
Ray could put his foot in. Trying to think who else had been there. Big Roger was forceful. Roger Ryan was forceful, but he was a bit of a pussycat at times as well, Roger. You know,
take his teeth straight out, wouldn't he, before he went on?
Big Ron tells a story. We played Oxford at St Andrews, and Eggy Phillips and people at Stevie Phillips. Something had happened with Stevie Phillips and from a corner or something, and he went on the ground, and then Big Ron says, I looked round. He said I could see Indy. He said he was coming down the pitch, rolling his shoulders, and then Ron said I got ready for it, and he said I turned around and looked at Roger, and Roger said, the crowd expect it of me, Ron.
Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to adapt this little question a little bit. What was the funniest thing from Jason Hughes? What was the funniest thing that you heard from the stands?
The funniest thing. Jesus.
I've got many, but I just can't repeat them live on it. I can't.
I've got to be honest. I was a big concentrator when I was playing the game.
Right.
I probably never heard the individual.
Tunnel vision, yeah.
I heard plenty of something good. I'm trying to think of it. It was somewhere.
Can I just say, Gaz,
Carry on.
you're so well loved. If you can see at the bottom of that screen, and you can see how many comments there are that we haven't got to yet.
We still haven't read 73 comments, and we're flicking through them and picking the ones.
I've got a large
It's
family,
incredible.
you know.
It's
I've got a
absolutely
large
incredible.
Sounds like a threat.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, great. Penalty to England. Penalty to England. England 3-0.
It's 4 now.
4.
Oh, it's 4 St Alan.
That's so far behind me, aren't they? You know, there's that many people that want to know things. Martin Swinscoe says if Alan Campbell played well, Blues played well.
Yeah.
Underrated he was. Yeah, definitely.
Loved
Okay,
Alan.
let's skip through some of these then, Chris. Poor penalty decision, even though it's in our favour from Linda. Well, hey,
Nigel Kelly, Gary Pendrey, top man.
Yeah.
My lord.
Hi Gary, Stephen Belshaw. What a servant you were for Blues. Local lad, passionate Blues fan. I remember one night match you had a shot from about 35 yards. It swerved and bent all over the place and hit the bar. After that, every time you got the ball, even though in our own box, the Blues fans were shouting shoot. Oh dear. Good evening from South Africa. Had to attend prior meeting tonight. Michael, that's just not good enough. You're on the same time zone as us. Organise your life better, man. No, we welcome all our visitors and listeners from South Africa and all around the world. As this goes out, obviously, because it's on Facebook, it'll be a 24-hour stream and people will get up tomorrow and listen to it. So the numbers just keep going up throughout the course of the day tomorrow, if you know what I mean.
Well, all my kids and grandkids will be on there right now. We're watching.
Are they all listening tonight?
Oh, they will be.
Hello, kids and grandkids. How are you doing? Hopefully, the Blues can do some magic this year, and we can, have some of the joys instead of some of the sorrows.
There's a great question here from Paul Ickis.
Oh, that rings a bell, that name.
Yeah. I don't know who he is. I ain't got a clue. Best player, Gary signed for Blues.
When I was manager.
Is it half time, Paul? Because it's joined in.
He's probably got fed up with the goals going.
Ian Atkins. I think Ian Atkins was
Quality player.
I think Ian Atkins was a good player. I think he'd be in there, Echo. Good man as well.
He scored his debut, didn't he? His debut he scored on for us. Ian Atkins. Mansfield. Was it the Mansfield game?
No, you're talking.
Was that Mansfield away?
5-2, yeah, I'm sure.
Well, the fans were climbing over the top of the roof.
I could be wrong.
To get
I
in.
was only a kid at the time. But
Crikey.
I'm sure he scored his
It's only 36 at the time.
That was a scary one because we turned up at Mansfield and there was a garage opposite and some fields in Mansfield. I suppose you expect that, don't you?
Yeah.
A garage and some fields. There's nothing else there. And this burly police officer waved me and my mate in. We were literally the first in this field, and she was like proper like community, PC plot about 17 stone, yeah. And she said, "Oh, yeah, there's about 400 of you coming today." I said, "I've just passed 6,000 on the motorway." I said, "You better get another field open." And God blimey, that game was scary because the Blues fans were climbing over the roof to get in, and oh God.
Mind you, we put one over them lot up the road. Second game in for you, wasn't it? We won on your 87-88. We beat Stoke. 2-0.
I
went to that one with my dad. I remember we beat Stoke. I think we played them like away, didn't we? The week after.
I was driving here tonight. I tell you, I think I told Tom, my wife will probably know this better than anybody. I was driving here tonight and Whitney Houston was on. One Moment in Time. And the moment in time it always reminds me of is we beat the Villa 2-0 at Villa Park.
Yeah, that's it.
The second game of my short managerial career at Blues. And I can remember leaving the dugout and walking that way and looking at all the Blues fans. You had your ears on your hand. I've just had it there, and that song and that it just brings that back to me every time. Yeah, and that's something can never taken away from me, you know.
Yeah.
During COVID, okay, I had the wonderful opportunity of driving past St Andrews, and I looked at that stadium and the tears were just rolling down my face. You know, when fans couldn't go in, and it's like you're taking my life away from me.
Yeah,
This is the reason I live. This is the reason I exist. I go to work, you know, or do what I do. You know what I mean?
Just for that
I've got
Saturday
a whole room as a museum to Birmingham City Football Club in my house. I'm hardly dedicated. You know what I mean? Trevor Hockey, Lynn Magnan wants to know. He was her hero back in the day. What was he like?
He was a diamond of a man, Trevor.
Yeah.
He was a live wire all the time. Never stopped, even in training. And he had, I think he had a little deal with, I don't know if people remember Zisman's. There was Zisman's.
Moss Zisman.
Yeah.
Zisman's in town. He had a little deal with them. He used to have some clothes off them.
Yeah.
And
Where were they based?
Off the boring.
Yeah.
Were they?
On the slope, I remember.
That's right, just
Yeah,
on
the
where
slope,
Mark
yeah,
Watton
yeah.
did.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
There's Zisman's. And he used to have always a gear from that, and he took a bit of stick over that, Trevor. And I think he was one of the first at the time. I know they do it now. But he had a car, I can't remember which one it was. He had a car and he had a suede bonnet.
Yeah.
But he was a good player, Trevor. He was a good player. Had some good players around. Jimmy Greenoff as well.
Jimmy Greenoff.
Other people remember.
Jimmy.
Jimmy had give me a lift in his Ford Cortina 1600E. He just put his foot down and it went. It just went.
Craig Courtney says, Chris, have a look at my messages. Does Gary remember that 1975 centenary match against Celtic and Big Jack Taylor frog marching an angry Celtic fan off after we scored? It was a scary night with a lot of drunk Scots there.
I can't remember it actually, no. They didn't come straight to.
Paul wants to know if you've done a 1 to 11.
Oh.
My lad threw them at me the other day when before I came here.
Not in disgust.
I did, but I had about 15 in. I think something like that. It's always difficult, you know. I think
that's a message there from Kevin Ashley, by the way.
Great, nice one. Hi, Kevin.
Ash, yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Took him to Wolves. Took him to Wolves when I went to Wolves as well.
Yeah, this was great in the changing room. Would come in every Monday, regardless of results, and be that upbeat. You need that member of staff to be like that, and he was one of the best at it.
Good words from Kevin Ashley. Well done, mate. Nice one.
Well done.
Excellent.
Right, I'm going to find out how to get back to the. There we go. No, that's not the right one.
One job. You've only got one job.
Hang on now. I know why.
One job.
There we go. We'll get back in a minute. Get back to the live chat.
Okay.
So have we got the 1 to 11 ready, or what? Or are we not going to do the 1 to 11?
Have you got a 1 to 11?
I couldn't throw them off the top of my head quickly.
Go on, try.
I think I put
5-0.
Thank you.
5-0.
I think I put Dave Latch. I think Dave Latch would be in goal because
great.
he's one of us as well.
Quality.
You know? I've got a bit of a story about Dave, but I don't know where to tell it.
Oh, go on.
Yes, please.
Please.
Go on, it's perfect.
Dave will
time.
remember this. Mind you, lives in Spain. Can I intersect my 1 to 11 and tell a story?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do.
When we Pendrey show, ladies and gentlemen.
When we were kids, when we were kids, 15, we used to go to Max Dog Street, as I say. And we used to finish training, and we used to go in afterwards, it'd be about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we always used to have like a little cake with a bit of cream on or something like that. But we didn't want to miss the bus. We didn't want to miss the bus that took us into town. So one of us had to keep watch for the bus. And people wouldn't know this about Dave, but he was very insecure when he first came to Birmingham. He was very quiet, and he had a bit of a stutter.
Did he? I didn't know.
Oh, right.
When he first came, yeah.
God, that was pretty
And
clever acting as well, wasn't it?
we put him. It was his turn to be on guard for the bus, and we were getting all our cakes and this, that, and the other. And Dave come to the door, and the lads went, "It's too late. The bus has gone." And that's the God's honest truth. He was a bit. He had a little stutter, but he got over it. The lads got him over it. He was a bit shy and all that.
Yeah.
But I'd put him in goal, Dave. I'd put him in goal, yeah. And I'd put his brother at centre forward,
Absolutely.
I think. Yeah.
What a pair they were.
Yeah. I think Trevor would get in there somewhere.
We'd
have to be in there.
You'd have to be there.
we ask this question to nearly every player that comes on. How did you get on with Trevor?
Yeah.
Trevor, I got on with Trevor. I was best man at his wedding.
Oh, right, okay, good stuff.
Yeah, I was best man at Trevor's wedding. He asked me to be his best man. Trevor was sensational. I got on great with him, obviously, and he used to come and sit by me after away games and wanted me to run through how his game had gone and what he could do better. And
Consummate professional.
it was terrific. I mean, Jude's come along and taken a couple of Trevor's mantles, but not in the same way. When Trevor was a 16-year-old, Trevor did sensation. Jude's done brilliantly, all-round game and other things. Trevor did sensational things. Trevor couldn't score a tap-in.
No.
The ball would be flying at Trevor. I can remember the ball flying at Trevor. I don't know, it was a Sheffield Wednesday game at home. Somebody might come on and say. And he took the ball halfway up his body and the ball went over a guy. It went on, beat another two and smashed it in the top corner. He just scored unbelievable goals. I think we spoke about Tony Watt tonight. And Tony will tell you, Tony comes along and says, I used to think, he said, you know, when you see the films are speeded up when they do it. He said, no, it wasn't with Trevor. That's how Trevor was going.
That's how
he was going when you do it, like, you know.
Yeah.
Sensational. It was just sensational.
I'll just interject the rest of you 1 to 11 because we've had a really, really lovely message here from a young lady called Chloe Quinn. My granddad, Hart, my hero. Chloe, is Garry your granddad? If so, any messages? Yes, Garry is my granddad. Tell him I love him very much and I'm loving hearing the stories. What a lovely, lovely message. Boom.
We're loving it ourselves. Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing she's a big Blues fan.
By the way,
Chloe, yeah.
goosebump moment. Marvellous, wonderful.
We have got your 1 to 11 now.
Oh, we've got it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really there for you. Go on, Chris, off you go.
Okay,
Save my
so
voice.
goalkeeper, Jim Montgomery. What a goalkeeper.
Put Jimmy.
You put Jim in.
What a goalkeeper.
Maybe you've resigned
I've got Dave
Dave
out.
on the bench.
Yeah, Dave's out.
It's a squad game.
And you've got defenders, Malcolm Page, Malcolm Beard.
Yeah.
Oh, what a player. Yeah.
So, 2 centre-backs, Kenny Burns and Roger Hind. Midfielders, you've got Alan Campbell and Howard Kendall.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got Trevor Francis in there. Then you've got Bob Hatton, Phil Summel, and up front, Bob Latchford.
Yeah.
And captain is
Howard
Kendall.
Oh, Kendall.
Howard Kendall, yeah. And the manager, Freddie Goodwin.
Yeah. Best captain, Howard. Best captain. One of his greatest sayings, you can't put a price on a good time. That was one of his.
Tell you
I
what.
suppose you can. It depends where you're going.
No, you can't.
What- what am I-
If you think about it, it doesn't matter whether if you spend a £5 or 50 or 5. You can't put a price on a
No,
good
you
time.
can't.
If you've had a good time, and that was, he used to come along with that, and he was a great captain, Howard. A great leader of people.
Yeah. Like I say, you run through players like that, and how do we not win anything? It's just full of great players, isn't it?
Good question.
Obviously before my time, but you know.
Well, you wouldn't think so, looking at you. You're quite old.
Did you play in goal for us against Carlisle when Sprake was injured?
Clean sheet.
Clean sheet. Look at his face.
I was going to say about that. It's funny because Sprakey got injured. I'd never been in goal. You know, some people go in practice and all that.
Training, yeah.
And he shouted from the side, it was Freddie, wasn't he? Freddie went, you, in goal.
Did he just come out? You didn't offer or
Me.
volunteer or just?
No, it was like, me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went in, put the gloves on, clean sheet.
How long?
I think I played all the second half, then I ain't
The
gone.
second half.
Yeah.
Gary, were you not the club's youngest captain under Stan Collis?
I was, yeah. Stan said,
Stan, I mean, that really dates you, doesn't it? You played under Stan Collis.
You nasty man. It's a good job you can't see his
Good
face,
job he's
Gary.
down south.
And this is why he's on the phone and not here.
yeah, he said I wasn't a wallflower. I wasn't a wallflower. He said so. I was the one to be the captain.
So was that 69, was it? 68, 69?
Yeah, 69. 69. So.
And we've got another message as well, Chris, please, if you could just wind that one up. This one's from Gary Pendrey, who sends to Love Hearts. Now, I know the first one brought a little tear to your eye, mate, and I'm exactly the same myself, yeah? And if we could get that message, Chris, please.
Where is it? Sorry.
I think it's on the back one.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
yeah. It's from Gabby, yeah.
Message here from Gabby Pendrey to say she loves her granddad very much and it's great to hear your stories. It's beautiful. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, it's nice.
Lovely.
Isn't it lovely?
Lovely.
Oh,
Are they all big blue noses, Gary? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like a minute.
things like that, mate. Don't make me well up as well. So
Yeah.
don't think it's not manly to cry because I
No,
tell you
it's
what.
not. It's not.
I just sobbed when I saw St Andrews.
I always get a bit emotional with
Of course you do.
family.
Of course you do, mate. Yeah.
There's, I often say, I said about having Christmas. We always have Christmas together, and we always have before we start. I always have a little drink, and I always say to them, "Listen, you all have a drink. There's nothing more important than family."
Absolutely.
Oh, so true. So true. Yeah.
Than anything.
Loads of things can happen in your life. And,
Oh, can I say
yeah,
hello to
family.
my dad?
Yeah.
I think my dad's listening.
Is he? Oh, go on then.
Hello, Dad.
Hello, Mark's dad.
Ron.
Hello, Ron.
Right on.
Can I say hello to my wife Maureen because she's not been very well?
Oh, right, okay.
Absolutely, yeah, of course you can.
So I hope she's feeling a bit better tonight.
Well, I tell you what, you got the thoughts with every single Birmingham City fan with you, mate.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Good. She
Every
needs it at the minute, I
single
think.
Last one. Right, scroll down a little bit more, Chris, if you could, sir, and we'll see what's going on now. We've got 43 comments to get. England penalty Kane about to get a new record from Craig Courtney.
Oh, back to the
Linda
car.
says, did you still watch Blues? Well, obviously we covered that earlier. Your season ticket holder with your children and your grandchildren.
My kids have got 8 season tickets between them,
right.
and I go in John White's box. He's a very, very good friend of mine.
That's 5-0 Kane hat-trick. Okay,
Linda says that apparently Trevor Hockey had a midnight blue
Oh,
jag.
sorry.
Was that what it was?
Ah,
Yeah.
there you go. See? People. Yeah, she wants to know, do you still watch the Blues, Gary? Yeah, you do.
I do, yeah.
You certainly do.
Should we mention about the England shirt?
Oh, of course, yeah. Go on, Mark.
Just to let everyone
Come
know.
a bit closer to the microphone.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just let everyone know we've still got plenty of tickets available still for the signed Gareth Southgate England shirt. £1 a ticket.
It is pound
And
ticket.
to get in touch with Craig Courtney and I'll
Or
sort
6
you out.
for 50p.
650. That's for a San Marino top.
Whose is that? Yours. One Gary Pendrey. There's only one Gary Pendrey. It's only one. It's on the phone.
It's
It's only one, ladies and gentlemen.
It's drama,
on the
isn't it?
phone. Chris can plug him in.
I think I've actually got that as well. Hang on. Oh, that's my mum.
If you answer it, Chris can plug him in.
I can't because I've got the plug-in already.
Oh, of course, yeah,
Alan's on it.
okay,
Alan's on it.
Right, Mike Hill. It's going back a few years, but I remember Gary making his debut for Blues in a football combination match reserve for Blues reserves before he made his debut in the first team late 1969. Blimey.
69.
There are some old gits around tonight.
Thank you. Be quiet.
Hi, Alan. Talking of that era, Gary, sorry, have you got any memento? Have you kept any shirts or memorabilia and stuff?
You know something? We didn't sort of keep them things at that time. We didn't have that many. Excuse me, but I did keep.
Tony wants his on the phone. Tony wants his on. Come on, answer him.
And I kept the. We played in white when we beat Leighton Orient to get promoted 50 years ago nearly. It'd be 50 years this year, 72.
50 years.
And I didn't wash it or anything. I kept it in the bag, sealed bag, and I gave it to the club about I don't know, 6-7 years ago, maybe a bit longer. When you get older, your mind goes on it.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8 years ago, I gave it to them, but I don't even know what happened to it. I think they were going to put it somewhere on it, but so if anybody knows where it is, it was still had the mud on it from
Gary
Leighton
Pendrey's
Orient.
shirt, ladies and gentlemen. There will be somebody out there that probably knows what it is.
Probably, yeah.
Gary Pendrey's shirt.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Never been washed.
England 6, San Marino nil. Kane with 4 now, so he's now busted that record, hasn't he? So well done to him. Thank you for reading my note about Dennis Swaits. Gary was talking about Trevor Hogge's vehicle, which was covered in blue fur. It was a Triumph Herald.
Now that sounds like it. Triumph Herald, yeah.
And Gabby says, "Go, Grandad, we love you. We're all watching you." Oh, love it. What was the banter like back in the dressing room? Any good pranks from Paul Hipkiss, who's probably not watching the football anymore and given up? Probably opened his solitary can of lager to himself and sat on the front row with his hands on his head.
There are always good times in the dressing rooms. You take it out of everybody. Andy used to take a bit of ribbing, I'm telling you.
Really?
Now. Oh, yeah.
Did he?
I remember at Luton
I wouldn't
once,
want to give him any.
No.
At Luton once, it was a small dressing room, and he was bouncing up and down. And there was a polystyrene roof. It wasn't very high, and he went straight through the polystyrene roof. And everybody's going, "Oh, leave the ground around." Yeah. We went to Leeds. We talked about Leeds earlier, when Leeds were the team.
Yeah.
I mean, in the era we were there, we never scored a goal at Ellen Road.
No.
So we hadn't scored a goal. So we went there, I'm guessing, 73, 74, 75. So Andy's gone out before us all. What's Roger doing? He's walking from the one corner flag to the halfway line. He's then walked from the other halfway line to the corner flag. Do you know? So before we had the team meeting, Andy's coming, he's gone, "No, just a minute." He said, "I think I've got it." What's that, Rog? He said, "The one half to the left is 52 yards or something like that." He said, "The other half to the right is 56 yards. Obviously, in one half they played one sort of game, and in the other half they played another." Everyone's looked at him and gone, "Are you having a laugh, Andy? Or what?" Yeah.
Oh, was he serious?
He's deadly serious.
Oh, no.
Deadly. He used to keep notes and everything because his Uncle Bill was Bill Shankly. That was his uncle. And
Oh,
all
of course
that.
it was, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He used
yeah.
to keep all the notes and all that. He was deadly serious, Roger.
Oh, my life.
Wow.
Brilliant stories. It's crazy because like of all the guests we get in, we get something different off everybody.
Yeah.
Every week, you know, nobody goes over the same stuff twice, do they? It's always something
It's
fresh.
always something.
It's
Yeah.
always
Something
something
new.
fresh.
It's incredible. It's such an insight we get every week.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And you know what? When I was a 13-year-old child, 12-year-old child at St Andrews for that first day, never in my wildest dreams would I have thought I would be sitting here today talking to Gary Pendrey
On a Monday night.
on a Monday night,
Oh, mate.
and I'm 60 on Christmas Day.
Yeah. Are you?
I am actually
Oh,
Christmas. I'm
crikey.
going to have a party and a
forget
hog
to-
roast. I'm having a hog roast.
Nick, don't forget to remind us before then.
I might mention it once or twice.
Okay, because we don't want to forget.
No, please do some more scrolling.
We don't want to forget. Just before we go there, Gabby Pendrey says, Gary's our rock.
Oh, bless her. Bless her. Gary had me with a lump in his throat when he suggested he wasn't good enough to be a manager of Blues. What other player manager would ever say that? I disagree, but what a humble man. Lovely. Super words. Okay.
Alan, what's the score, by the way? Is it still
6-0, it's half time.
still 6? Oh, 6.
Thanks, Alan.
Oh,
What do you
Yeah,
guys-
they've had another penalty.
crikey.
Tony Wants on the phone. Tony Wants on the phone. Please answer.
Mine's better.
Jamie Tybooks is mentioning my dad's company has made his day. Dennis Rogers says, thank you. It's an absolute pleasure.
Oh, Dennis Rogers. Dennis owned it, yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis and
yeah.
Janet.
Martin Cochrane wants to know why these background squares, which are blue and black, look
Yeah.
claret
Definitely
and
blue and black.
They're definitely blue and black. It's
that's disgusting. Get the lighting sorted out.
it's just the lighting, honestly.
Look at that. No, that is wrong. That is wrong on every level. Martin, thanks for that, mate.
No, it's,
Oh,
it's
blimey.
coming off that light at the top there, so that's...
Get it took out.
No, you put it there.
Who was the best player you kicked up in the air and gave the most satisfaction? Gave you the most satisfaction?
Kevin Keegan.
Didn't have to think about that, did you?
Absolute quality. Absolute quality. Any reason why?
I was given the job of looking after Keegan.
Brilliant. Kevin Skidmore was at Ipswich away in 1977. As usual, we took a good crowd, mate. And a mate of mine got on the pitch as Trevor and Garry were inspecting the pitch. Could you scroll, Chris, for me? And Garry said to him, I'd get off quick, the old bill will come in. He did, but he still got nicked. Oh, brilliant. Some cracking. You know what? And again, having somebody like yourself in the studio and be able to talk directly to you and know and understand and actually feel your humility, right? It's just evoking so many people's memories. And that's what Monday nights really do. They bring us back to our childhood days or your childhood days if we've got a 90s player in. And I can just see you all on that pitch now. I can see them great big white bloody speaker that was at the end of the thing, that great big horn. I wish I had that. That would be worth a million zillion quid. And that was the only one in the ground. I remember the team men walking around with the white jackets.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Oh, disgraceful, horrible things.
Yeah, the old joke.
But I tell you what, believe we have Tony Want joining us.
That's good,
Craig
yeah.
Courtney. Okay, so Tony Watt looks like he's going to come in. So answer him next time and say, yeah, you're here, you're live. Just tell him you're here, you're live. You're here, you're live, and we absolutely want...
That was a no caller, or is
No, he's trying to
It's Carl
scam me now.
Richards.
Many thanks to Ian Clarkson for that as well. Thank you very much. Brilliant.
Oh, brilliant.
Paulie Chris wants to know, what's the best player Garry has worked with as an assistant manager? Good question.
Shinshumi Nakamura at Celtic.
Really?
Sensational. I don't know whether... I don't actually... If you go on YouTube or go on Google or whichever they do, I'm not savvy to all or whatever it is. A few years back, there was a free kick that he did. I don't know whether you'll have seen it. If you search it, where he puts it through a bus open window.
Really?
No, not
There's a
seen
travelling bus. It's in Japan, and they put it down. You'll find it under Nakamura.
Right.
And the windows are open, and the bus comes past, and he puts it through the windows to this. And
Both-
that was him. Because he did it to Man United in the Champions League game at Celtic.
Oh, of course he did, yeah.
He put it over the top of
Yeah,
the wall. But this guy was sensational.
Yeah.
And what a pro, what a professional. Oh, it's just like...
Okay, going to get on to a couple of names in a very short while, but in the meantime, Michael Woods wants to know, how many red cards did you get in your career?
3.
3.
Right. Can you remember who they were against?
Well, that was less than you got goals.
That's right. One
We demanded more.
of the ones was that you mentioned the referee, Clive Thomas.
I'm going to mention his name now, though. So we'll mix these both together, shall we? Yeah.
So that was at Coventry.
Right.
That was I think it was Alan Green I fouled. It was my first foul, and it wasn't really a bad one. Seriously, I mean, seriously, it wasn't a bad one. It was a late one, but it wasn't bad. And he sent me off straight away. And when I looked at him, and I said, "What?" He said, "Some people have to go, and you're one of them." Seriously.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Oh, and when I appeared, because you used to have to appear before the committee then when you went and got set in London, I told him this. I said, "This is what he said to me." Made no difference.
Why do you think he hated Birmingham City so much, and why did he get so many of our games that were aired live on TV? Not live, but on Sunday Sport.
I don't know, but it's one of them.
He desperately hated us.
I hated you as well. You trying to set me up there?
No, I'm not saying you because I hated him. Every Birmingham fan hated him. He was just the worst referee ever. Awful, horrible, scrawny little man.
Definitely.
Why are you looking at me when you said that?
I didn't. I got neck.
You looked at me first.
The first time I got sent off, it was abroad, and I should never have been sent off. And it was proven later on, because what I did, I got sent off, and when I picked up a couple of yellow cards to start with, this just shows you how far ago back this was. I got 6 weeks suspension with no money. 6 weeks.
What, for sending off?
With no money. What? I accumulated a sending off and some bookings, and I should never have been sent off. And what they did, the lads had a whip round to give me a few quid at the time, you know what I mean? Because I'd only be 19 at the time or whatever, something like that. And it was proven later I had to appear before the FA again, and Vernon Stokes, I think it was Vernon Stokes then, the chairman or something like that, he'd had somebody write to him who saw the sending off. It was in pre-season in Belgium away or something like that, and they told him it was a disgrace. So he sort of let me off when I appeared before him again, off another charge. Because it was when you in them days, you used to have to appear before them in different charges, you know.
Oh, right.
So
like a court.
What we're saying allegedly is football was corrupt all the way back then.
I didn't say.
No, I didn't. No, you didn't. And that's why I said allegedly. I wonder if he's still alive, Clive Thomas. I'd like to interview you, sir.
Didn't they wire him up for one of the World Cups?
I think
The
he is.
82 World Cup,
Is he?
they wired him up, didn't they?
Craig Courtney, Clive Thomas.
Wired him up. They should have done more than wire him up. Didn't he blow the whistle when the ball was coming
that
in
was
from the
it,
corner?
Yeah.
The ball was delivered in the corner and they were just about
And
to
it
head
blew
it in
up.
the net and it blew up.
Yeah.
You've never seen that, have you?
I know.
You have with Clive Thomas.
I'll tell you what. As soon as you walked in, right, you picked your football programme up. Because we had no internet, no mobile phones back then. It was a referee. Clive Thomas, no, and everybody would be doing the same. Clive Thomas, and I'm surprised he didn't get a little bit more treatment from a few Blues fans, to be honest with you, along the way. But there you go. What's that Steve Portman comment there, please, Chris? Steve Portman's got sending some seriously good memorabilia from Smalley Alliance Days, who contacted me yesterday. Includes the second match day programme ever produced. And some photos of squads in the 1880s.
Oh, Nick will remember that.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
I remember them. I remember you playing them.
If you'd have gone back to your day, Gary, and you would have had Facebook, social media, and so on, would you have gone on it to sort of read what people were saying about
No.
it? You just left it well alone.
No.
Yeah.
The papers were bad enough and all that. I can remember. Do you remember Leon Hickman?
Oh yeah, in the mail.
Yeah.
Chief sports
Yeah.
writer.
Isn't he still around?
We played.
I'm not too sure.
We played Aston Villa. At St Andrews, and Brian Little and Andy Gray were up front. I was playing centre back at the time, I think. I actually can't remember the result, whether we got beat 1-0 or we drew. I can't remember. If I can't remember, we probably got beat. And the next day, he put headlines. I've still got it somewhere. The headlines in the Evening Mail were Hatchet Man Pendrey. And the worst part about it was he kicked everything he could catch, which wasn't a lot.
Do you think?
But when I became manager,
Yeah.
he invited me to dinner. I think it was with Jasper. I think we went with Jasper and Hazel. And he invited me to dinner, and he just said, "Oh, it was one of them things." He seemed quite a nice man then, but
Do you think that's leading up to the reason why you were delivered an axe?
it probably was. Yeah, it probably was. Yeah.
Hatchet man.
That might have been about the same time.
There you go.
But that was, I thought it was unfair. Why pick on me?
Why pick on me?
No, seriously,
yeah,
why
I get
pick
it,
on
yeah.
me? But as you say, nowadays it's far worse. It's far
Yeah,
worse.
yeah.
Well, the abuse some of them get,
It's horrendous.
not right.
Mind you, wouldn't go on it, do I?
I think, and I can't say this definitely for sure, but I think you are the only footballer ever to be delivered an axe.
Can't think of
I
many.
can't think of many.
Can't think of many at all.
Okay, so Tony Watt's going to join us, and that's great news because that's
brilliant,
I
yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
I obviously didn't see him play in
Tony's
that
a
game
good
because his leg was obviously broken the week before, and I know he was down the Blues the other week, and I was desperately trying to search him out and I couldn't. But it will be great to have that name in the studio, along with yourself, along with Big Joe Gallagher, who all played in that in that first game that my dad took me to, and it's just so damn emotional tonight. I tell you, I won't ever forget this. What a 60th birthday present. Thank you, Garry. We're into the last 15 minutes, Christmas Day, by the way. Into the last 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Is anything you'll find in a fruit and veg shop tonight? Anything you'll find in a fruit and veg shop and associated with football. So off you go, off you go.
That wasn't in the script. It was going to be ice cream, but
Oh, was it?
well done.
I haven't seen that one then.
You don't
I
follow
haven't
the
seen that
script.
one.
Nick,
Yeah.
correct. See if you can you correct me? But I think Gary's the first ex-manager we've
Yes.
had in the studio.
Yes.
We have interviewed managers,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think he's the first ex-manager. I'm right, am I?
Yeah, you're
There
right.
you go. You're privileged.
You're
there you
right.
go.
Thank you.
Oh, not we're privileged, no?
No, we're privileged. What was it like to be in the same team as the Blues goal-scoring legends of Trevor and Phil Summerhill?
Oh, it's terrific. I think we spoke about this earlier. I've known Phil since we were schoolboys together.
Yeah.
We played for Stanley Star, and the cup final I spoke about when we won 22-0 and Phil scored 17. Phil's a terrific player. Terrific player. When you had these sort of players around you, with Francis and Summerhill and Latchford and Hatton, and it was, I think that was your job, you know. Some people have to carry their piano in and some people play it, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, and there are a few people like me that could carry their piano in. And
I had to organise the people to take it me. Well, I was back at sports. I couldn't do it. If I was going to kick it left, it would go right. You know. I reckon the village should have signed me up, don't you?
It's really difficult. You can't think of a team where a Blues team where you could say that team was a team of legends.
No, that team was a team of legends, without a doubt. Certainly,
You know,
in
you'll have a
my-
team where there are legends in them, but
Well, yeah.
that team was a team of legends. Really was.
I know what you mean. I suppose the modern day version would be the Carling Cup winning team, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so we've got Robbie Cabbage, Jasper Garrett, Mickey Mellon, Jasper Garrett, Diego Maradona.
I better get your mic ready.
I think I've just must be earlier again.
No.
What about Spud Brocken?
Yeah.
Broccoli,
Broccolo Madsen, yeah. Oh dear me. And anything you'll find in a fruit and veg shop. Some great memories with Grandad will always... Jack Quinn, this is from, yeah. Some great memories with Grandad will always remember kicking the ball around at Celtic with you and Dad and running to the gar for the Cadiz goal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love art.
Jack goes with me. He's been going with me ever since I retired, and I take him down there. His dad was a lovely man. He passed away now.
Bless.
Bless him.
Graham Taylor.
Graham Taylor, yeah.
It's got to be.
Hang on, get the faders ready.
Neil Lemon. We've got Neil Lemon just coming.
I can see a funny one as well.
You could see a funny one where Paul Tatio.
Yeah. Paul Tato.
Tato.
Paul Tato.
Tato, yeah, that's funny.
Oh, sorry.
Kenny Burns scored the winner versus Newcastle. I remember Frank Buff on grandstand being disgusted with all the aggro on the pitch.
Oh dear. Cool Blues. Right, scroll down some more letters. We've got Kenny Leak, Nicholas Broccoli Madsen. We've had that one. Hotter chocolate beans. Ooh.
No, hang on, I think I've
You've gone far too far there.
yeah.
Wayne Prooney.
Wayne
Lime or
Prooney.
Lime or Messi. Black Bruce.
Oh, I think he's got a few there.
Gregory said the same as me. Spud
Tony
Brocken.
Adams Apple. Bentner was a big sweet.
He was a Danish.
He was Danish, wasn't he?
He brought home the bacon.
Oh dear.
Going back to the modern era, Gary, what are your hopes for this season? Mid-table? Do you think we're good enough for the playoffs?
I think personally to get the stadium open.
Earlier in this, that's a big thing. Earlier in the season, I thought we looked like we could probably break into the top six. Then we had that horrendous 6-game spell. But I think that in our own way, we're decent. We are. We're difficult to beat, you know. We're difficult to beat. And I like it when we play with the front two.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a little
Yeah.
bit
Which front two?
stuck in the way. Well. I don't think I'd do that at the minute.
Yeah.
A front two. I go with the front two. I go with the front two.
Don't commit yourself.
But it's dinosaur. The conversations I have with Big Ron, this is and all that, with dinosaurs. But I don't think there's anything wrong with getting the ball forward relatively quickly. Do you know? I know the modern game. I've worked in it just when it started to change, and about you need to be able to pass the ball, you need to be able to control it, obviously. But I think I watch a lot of football at home now. I go who's watching a lot of football, and I'm sure that supporters, when they go to a game, they put the bum on the seat. What gets them off the seat is a big tackle, a big shot, a cross, a goal,
Free kick, yeah.
action.
Yeah.
56 passes before you get anywhere
That's not.
is all very nice and it's lovely, but it's not what. When that crowd starts, when that crowd sees something, whatever it is, and it's action, that's football.
Is that for?
That's football for me.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean people talk about long ball. They always talk about Glenn Hoddle played great long balls. If you can get the ball with some quality into people in good areas, play through people, I think it keeps the game going.
We've got any more? Damari Grape, Tim Cauliflowers. Trevor Cherry.
I like that. Dave Twine, full sale by dates. Yeah. that's got to be the winner.
Oh, well done, Dave Twine. That's a good one.
Gary,
He really comes up on.
Alan's got a question for Gary.
What's that?
yeah,
Go on.
talking about playing through this when they changed the rule about you didn't have to kick the ball out of the penalty area for a goal kick. We now get three defenders next to the goalkeeper, three forwards in front of the penalty area, and then they pass it to each other. And if they're successful, it takes 10 passes to get the halfway line. And if they're not successful, they hoof it anyway.
It goes back to the keeper, and the keeper gets rid of it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. The modern game. I think it's all right if you're at the top, the real top players, the real top, your Man Cities, Liverpools, and all these other people.
Sorry. Marlon King Edwards. sorry. So sorry. Yeah, go on, crack
But
on.
I think otherwise, just put the ball down and play. I'm with you. I don't know whether our centre halves want it in the box and be able to play out from there. I don't know.
Well, we're into the last couple of minutes of the show. You wouldn't believe that where that's gone to, and it's again. I've got to reiterate, it's so good to be back in the studio. We will do something with the lighting next week, Chris Browne, because they'll hijack it. You know they will.
I know, yeah. If you
Yeah,
just
all
flick
right.
that light off, we'll do it.
Okay, that we'll sort it next week. Well, Gary, what an absolute honour and a blessing to have you in the studio tonight. And those gorgeous messages from your little grandchildren. That really put the icing on the cake tonight, mate. I promise you that.
Fantastic.
And Gary Pendrey, you are iconic. You go down in the memory of every single one of us older Blues fans. I don't say it without goosebumping, mate. I don't, right? And we'd just like to give you these, mate.
It's just
That's
a little present
A
from
little
us.
present for you, mate. The Tilton Talk Show
That's brilliant.
with a badge that you can
That is fantastic.
wear for the rest of your life without taking it off, ever. And there's your Gary Pendrey mug. There you go.
I'd like to thank you. Thank you
Superb,
very
mate.
much for that.
Honestly, we
Thank
just
you.
genuinely don't drop it. We just,
Clean sheet. That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
over 300 games for our beautiful football club. You know what? You're still a legend. You're still a memory. You're
Absolutely,
still
yeah.
right up there, mate. Don't ever think you're not, because like every Birmingham City player who can remember you playing knew that you would not run through that wall. You'd pick it up and throw it to the sidelines, and you genuinely would. And you gave us everything. There was never a day that I can remember where Gary Pendrey was on the field of play and he shirked one. Not ever. Not once. So for all the memories that you gave us, unbelievable thanks, mate. Unbelievable thanks. And I'm sure, oh God, look at the shout box going mad.
just an icon.
Honestly, if we could put a statue up, mate, you'd be one of them.
Yeah.
You'd be one of them. But enjoy your Gary Pendrey mug. That was
Thank you.
Chris has made that
Very
special for
nice.
you, mate.
Thank you.
Top man. And what an absolute top bloke you are. What a geezer. What an absolute superb gentleman.
Brilliant.
You've served our club so well over the years, and we look forward to seeing you down the Blues as soon as possible, mate. Gary Pendrey. Ladies and gentlemen, the last words from you. The last words are from you.
From me
You. To the people.
to the people. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts.
Keep right on. Gary Pendrey.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Help me
Good night,